welcome to you, Math and Me. My name is Goerge Randall, and today's topic is going to be understanding percents. The symbol percent means 1 over 100, or in decimal terms, 1/100. Take the number 7%. It equals 7 times 1 over 100, or 7 over 1 times 1 over 100. Again, those multiplication of fractions again. And when simplified, we multiply numerator 7 times numerator 1 and get 7, and denominator 1 times 100 and get 100. Another way, if we start off with 6%. 6 times 100th equals, and written in decimal form, is 0 and 6/100. Now, we take that right there and we rewrite 6 over 100. Again, we're back at our fractions again. And of course, your teacher would not want you to hand in this answer because it's not in simplest form. And previously, we talked about the largest factor. Largest factor for 6 and 100 is 2. So we're going to divide numerator and denominator by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So when your teacher asks you to convert your decimal, in this case 6/100ths, into a fraction in simplest form, that would be the process. Everything is related. Everything is related. Now, the reason we're talking about these percentages today, or one of the reasons, there are many, but one in particular, shopping. When we go into Nordstrom's, Macy's, Kohl's, because that's where I shop, things are on sale. And we'll make this real simple. Let's say that a retail item is $100. And they indicate that it's 30% off. So what do we do? So that we know that that particular item is 30% off, we take and convert this to a decimal, and we re-express this. So first of all is 30 over 100. And that is 30/100. And we multiply, again, our basic skills. 0 times anything is 0. So 0 times 100 is 0. Then 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. And 3 times 1. We count our decimal places, 1, 2. And we know that you're going to get, in this case, a $30 discount, and the item is going to cost $70. Might be a good buy. Kohl's sometimes gives Kohl's cash. They may give an additional $10 off for spending over $50. So your item comes down to $60. Basic math skills. We find out that number 1, how much it should be. Now, of course, this does not include tax. In Maryland, I believe the tax on an item purchased is 6% of that retail price. Okay? So again, we look at that retail price and it says 6%. State gets its tax, 6%, federal tax, whatever the case may be. We convert that again to 6 over 100, which equals this decimal. And we multiply six times 0 is 0. 0 is 6. We count our, okay, of course 0 times all of that is 0. So it doesn't change what we have here to add. And we count our decimal places, 1, 2. And the sales tax on that $100 item would be added, and your item would be $106. Sales tax. Can't get around it. Now we're going to look at some simple conversions of percentage. Because again, your teacher's going to ask you to take 2% and convert it to a fraction. And convert that fraction to a decimal. And what did we say? 2% rewritten is 2 over 100. Okay. And that decimal would be 2 100ths. If we had 97%, fraction, 97 over 100, and the decimal would be, now of course, teacher wants you to hand in your fractions in simplest form. The largest factor would be 2. Again, basic facts. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So that would be the fraction. Handed in simplest form. Okay. You got other conversions. You could start out with the 1 over 50. And what does that say? That 1 is in the house divided by 50. And of course, 50 cannot go into 1, correct? So we put a 0. Again, this is our basic steps. Can 50 go into 10? No. 0 times 50 is 0. Bring down another. Can 50 go in 100? Yes, twice. And we've converted this fraction now to a decimal, which is 0.02. And that is converted to a percentage by moving this decimal 2 places to the right and rewriting as 2%. We've moved from fraction to decimal and then to percent. Understanding percentages, decimals, and fractions. They're all related. Another form to express basically the same thing. 1/50 is 2/50 or 2/100 expressed as a percentage, 2%. Again, if you have any questions about that, again, my name is Goerge Randall, and you can reach me on my email, gerandall22@gmail.com. And we'll do a couple more, because now we've been shopping, we know about discounts, we know about the sales tax that's going to take place, and we know how to convert a fraction to a decimal, and then to a percentage, or start with a decimal, go to a fraction, and then a decimal. Okay, one more. Let's go with 12%. And that's rewritten as a fraction, 12/100. And the decimal is 0 and 12/100. Again, we cannot hand that fraction in like that because it is not in simplest form. We have two numbers which, in this case, the largest factor is 4. And what that means is 4 is the largest number that will go into 12 and 100 evenly. Again, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. And our fraction would be 3/25. And again, we can check it. 25, 3's in the house. Can 25 go into 3? No. Can 25 go into 30? Yes. One time. We subtract. And can 25 go into 50? 2 times. And that's 50. That's our decimal. We take our decimal and move it 2 places to the right and rewrite that as 12%. Okay. We're going to take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about recognizing properties of mathematics. Thank you. Hello again. Welcome back to You, Math, and Me. And now we're going to talk about recognizing properties. And two properties in particular are the commutative property and associative property, both of addition and multiplication. And what I mean by that is, for example, commutative. A plus B equals B plus A. Again, 7 plus 6 equals 6 plus 7. No matter what, in this particular case, 7 plus 6 is 13. 6 plus 7 is 13. Okay, for multiplication, since we're talking about commutative property, just going to change a few things right here. A times B equals B times A. 7 times 6 is 42, and 6 times 7 is 42. Commutative property of addition and multiplication. Okay. Associative property. And again, we're going to have A plus B plus C equals so again this reads the quantity A plus B plus C equals A plus the quantity B plus C. And again, we'll use 5, 6, so 5 plus 6 equals 11, plus 7 is 18. And over here we have 5 plus 13, and that equals 18. That's associative property of addition. Now, again, we need these properties when we're talking about parentheses. Again, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which means parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division from left to right, addition, subtraction from left to right. That was the order of operations that we talked about 3-4 weeks ago. We need that language all the time when we're solving our mathematical problems. We'll need it in algebra also. And I can add one more property called the distributive property. And what that means is A times the quantity B plus C equals A times B, which you're multiplying that, plus A times C. Okay? And then you'll get a total. So again, A is 2, B is 3, and C is 4. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 4 is 8. And that would be 14. Now what I told you, and please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses first, please. 3 plus 4 is 7, and it's in parentheses, times 2. What's 2 times 7? 14. 14 equals 14, and I'm excited. So, in reference to the distributive property, there are times when we can take the B multiplied by the A times the C, and we get the same answer, distributive property. Your teacher is going to have you work on problems explaining commutative property, associative property, distributive property. And what this is allowing us to do, number one, is get us prepared for our algebraic problems. That's what we're moving to. We're moving towards algebra. But always the emphasis on our basic facts. We need to know our basic facts. If we don't know them, we'll never, ever, ever get that B plus, that A. And remember, if you have any questions, you can send me an email at gerandall22@gmail.com. Now, today we've talked about percentages. We've done our shopping at Nordstrom's, Macy's, whatever the case may be on those discounts. And we've also looked at our sales tax and so forth and how they come about. The reason I talk about these things is because you have the best calculator, and it's right here, so that you know that you haven't been cheated. Now, we introduced associative property, commutative property today, and also the distributive property, so that we will be able to understand those relationships between parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, addition and subtraction from left to right. Okay. So, no further ado, till next time, I thank you, and when you come back, you, math, and me will have another subject for you to be aware of. Thank you.